Self-care is not selfish. That's the title of today's new moon class, and that's our thesis statement for today. Hi, I'm Lizzie Lassiter. I'm delighted you're here practicing with me. I make a class like this every single month. If you'd like it delivered to your inbox, I'll include the link below in the description so you can subscribe. I've also made a Google Doc with today's class sequence that you can download as a PDF. Link below. So, three key points to share before we move to our mats. The first one is that time alone with the breath builds resilience so we can become steadier, more supportive partners in our relationships. When we step away, we're not doing something selfish. We're not abandoning our families. We're not being demanding that we need time alone. We are simply recharging ourselves and building resilience on a nervous system level, nervous system management, so that when we return to our relationships with our kids, with our partners, with our business partners, friends, extended family, community, we are better able to relate. And that word more supportive, we have more to give. It's a very simple equation. Key point number two, this one's hard. Taking responsibility for your inner landscape is often more powerful than trying to fix the outside world. My instinct is often to think about what's wrong with everybody else. My default mode network in my brain loves to criticize what everyone else is doing wrong. And if they would just get it together. I heard a comedian say once, which I loved, his New Year's resolution was that everyone else was going to get their S together. But this is the opposite of that. Yoga fundamentally is about taking responsibility for your interior state. Remember, my favorite definition of yoga is that it's a state and the practices associated with that state. We often get lost or obsessed with or fixated on the practices, and we think that is the yoga. But as Mama always says, dog pose is not the yoga. The yoga is the residue that the dog pose leaves in your nervous system. I'm interested today in cultivating a certain kind of residue that is going to help me co-regulate with my kids, with my partner, with everyone I encounter the rest of my day. Key point number three, stillness recalibrates the nervous system. That is a physiological fact. Restorative yoga, which we will be doing some of today, increases heart rate variability and improves vagal tone. So again, to the idea that we're not doing something frivolous or something indulgent. This is very practical self-care. It is targeted to downregulate your nervous system, to help manage your nervous system, and it also feels really good. So the sequence is very simple. It's kind of greatest hits. Couple movements that I've learned in the past week studying with Mary Richards and my mom, Judith Hanson Lassiter, in our courses at lassiter.yoga. If you subscribe to the New Moon Mail, link below, we'll send you some information about everything that we're doing over there. It's a wonderful community of yogis who practice and learn together. So, a few simple poses, which I will guide you through, and then we will finish with a longer supported restorative pose. We're also going to start with a restorative pose, so it's bookended for you. All right, let's move to the mat. To start, you're going to need a couple of blankets, and it's a little bit of a choose your own adventure situation. You can practice this supported back bend with one blanket, two blanket, or three blankets. So I'm going to take three blankets actually, but let me show you the one blanket option. So the one blanket option is you simply take a yoga blanket, you fold it in half, and you sit in front of it, and then you lie down, and it opens your thoracic spine where there are ribs, and it counteracts a little bit that forward rounding kyphosis that so many of us have from bad posture. So this is option number one. Option number two is just to take another blanket and stack it exactly on top. Option number three, we're going to roll the blankets. So obviously, if you take option number three, you're much more spiritually evolved. That's the joke I always make. It really is about amplitude, which is intensity, and you calibrating the amount of intensity that is appropriate for your body in this moment. And it really doesn't mean anything more than that. So in restorative yoga, we're not looking for a big stretch. We're actually looking for something that's going to feel really comfortable. But I know, for example, I already did some practice today. I'm already a little warm and a little open. So this is going to feel really relaxing and good for me. Now, the last key ingredient to this is something to cover my eyes. And I have one of my third eye masks, which I love for restorative because you put it here and then you can always find it when you lie down. You're not searching around. And it works really well when you're in different positions. Whatever you have, you can use a scarf or an eye bag. You want to cover your eyes because darkness is an incredibly powerful signal to the nervous system that it's time to let go. That it's time to turn off your hypervigilant mode. To that end, phone on airplane, close your door. This is time now. It is not selfish, but it's time for you to take care of yourself. Whichever blanket variation you take, sit in front of the blankets and let yourself drape over. I'm going to set a timer for us as we work together. Arms wide, pelvis heavy, the base of the neck is lifted up. Let yourself be held by the props. Let yourself be held by this silence that we're going to share together. And in a few minutes, I'll bring us back together. Inhale your breath and exhaling. Prepare to roll yourself to the side and press yourself up to sitting. Before we do anything else, take a brief check in about your internal state right now. If you had to describe it in a single word, how do you feel right now? I'd love to see that as a YouTube comment. Type it below this video. After just 5 minutes in a restorative pose, what's the weather like inside your body mind? Next, we're going to clear the mat and we're going to do something that is really great for the neck, actually. A little starting series as we begin to move our bodies. And the good news is that it starts lying down on your back. And actually, I would keep one blanket nearby, maybe a block you might want to have. Okay, so I'm going to lie on my back. I don't need any props unless you want to take a blanket as a little bit of a pillow. And now arrive with an exhalation. Inhale. Exhaling, straighten your legs. It's not Shavasana yet. I think of this more as kind of Supta Tadasana. So flex the feet, engage the legs. The body is active here. I like to come onto my little finger side of the hands. And now inhale. Press your skull down towards the floor. Press, 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 press. And exhale, release. Let's do that 3 more times. Inhaling, press, and exhaling, release. So this is helping to release neck tension. Press, press, press. And I'm always fascinated that I'm only asking myself to press the head into the floor. Press. And I notice how many other parts of the body are activated in order to do that, to stabilize everything else. There's a lot of power that begins to move through the body as I just try to press the head into the floor. I feel it all the way through the core, through the buttocks, through the legs, through the feet. Roll onto one side and organize your pillow. Now we're going to do the same thing by pressing the side of your head into the floor, your temple, and release 4 times here. You don't need to overdo it. Don't create any strain in your neck. And release. One last time. And release. Roll over onto the other side. Release your pillow, your support. This could be a block, of course. And press. And release. Notice how much the rest of your body engages in response. The cervical spine is so connected to the rest of the body. Last time here. And release. Roll onto your stomach now. And I like just a little bit of blanket here. under the forehead, but not under the nose. So place your forehead on the blanket. Relax the arms. And now press into the forehead on the inhalation. The exhalation, we release everything. Press and release. One more time. And rest. So notice how even your glutes activate when you're lying on the belly. You can really feel it. Let's do one more time, pressing into the forehead, and you can really feel how the buttocks is working. Everything on the posterior chain lights up. Press, 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 and release. Okay, bend your elbows now. We're going to work a little bit with the trapezius here on our belly. This is for posture, so postural alignment. Don't bring the elbows up too high. They're out to the side or a little bit below. And now lift the wrists off. This is already quite intense. You're not breaking at the wrist. The forearm is in one line, lifting. Take a breath. Now lift the elbows up. Take a breath. Draw the elbows down as you draw the shoulder blades down and together. Take a breath. Reach the arms forward, either directly forward or out in a Y. And draw the elbows back down one more time. Shoulder blades drawing together. And release. So it's pretty intense. Looks simple, but there's a lot going on. So let's try it, let's say two more times. This is contracting and releasing the trapezius muscles on the back body. So lift just the hands, take a full round of breath. Lift the elbows up. Draw the elbows down, shoulder blades together. And draw the arms forward. One more time, elbows down, and release. Some of you may be wondering, because this is what students ask with this pose, if your buttocks are supposed to be engaged. Yes. Don't tell your buttocks what to do. Your back body, everything on the posterior chain knows how to engage, to stabilize, and support this movement. Forehead down last time, elbows out. Inhale, lift the hands up. Next inhalation, the elbows come up. Draw the elbows down as the shoulder blades come together. Let the arms come forward, hands forward, reaching forward. And elbows come down. Last time. And release. Let go of everything. Move your blanket out of the way, and we'll prepare for Cobra. Bring your palms onto the floor, forehead down. Before we press up into Cobra, I want you to lift your right leg up with an inhalation, and exhale, release. Left leg up. Inhale, exhale, release. This is really great for sacroiliac joint, continuing on that rhythm. You can relax the arms if you like. And release. Inhale. This is great for low back pain. Exhale. What also feels really nice is after you lift up, and then as you release the leg, to actually release all the residual tension in the body. Take a full round of breath where nothing happens. And now lift the left leg. Exhaling, we lower. And release all the tension in the body. Full round of empty breath. One more time on each side. Inhale. Exhale, the leg floats down. Full round of empty breath. Let everything let go. Inhale the left leg up. Exhale down. And full round of empty breath. Now the palms come down. Inhale. Lengthen the rib cage away from the pelvis as you come up. Straightening the arms, moving the arms towards straight. They can still be bent if that feels better for you. Let the feet come as wide as they want to be, toes turned in. And exhale, come down. We're going to do a couple more like that. Really important not to hold the feet together because that inhibits the back bend. Let the feet come as wide, they can be as wide as the mat. Your pelvis is smarter than you. Let yourself feel the width that works for you. Press into the palms. Inhale. Drag yourself up. See if you can feel a stretch sensation in the deep, low belly. Full round of breath at the top, and then lower down. Press into the palms. Inhale. And release. Press back to your hands and knees. And we're going to come towards cat-cow. So come onto your hands and knees. The wrists are underneath the shoulders. This is one of the healthiest movement patterns therapeutically for the spine, especially because all of us, myself included, sit so much in that tucked, rounded position. So what we're doing here in cat-cow, come onto your hands and knees, inhale, lift the heart, is we're moving through a larger range of movement than we typically do when we're sitting at our desks, for example. Inhale, lift, or sitting on the couch looking at our phone. Exhale. Begin the movement. Initiate the flexion and extension here from the pelvis. This is a movement of the pelvis rolling over the femurs, rolling over the thigh bones. It's a rolling movement. Rounding the front body now, opening the back body, spreading the ribs, making space for the kidneys, the back kidneys. And now begin by lifting the tailbone as you drop the belly and open the chest. Few more rounds like this in your own rhythm with your own breath. One more complete round. And then sit back onto your heels. We're going to take dog pose now. The way we teach it at Yoga is not to turn the palms out, the fingers out, which is often what I hear in yoga classes, but to turn the fingers slightly in, which has to do with the shoulder joint, the structure of your shoulder joint, a tendon called the supraspinatus tendon that can get entrapped. So try that, experiment with that, see how it feels in your body today to turn the hands slightly in. And what I like to do is come up, turn the toes and come up through this movement we were just doing, this rounded motion. And then we float up and extend back. Most of my students, I find the feet and the hands are more narrow than I want. So, unfortunately, because I can't see you, I don't know. But ask yourself if you're doing puppy pose as opposed to dog pose. 5 breaths here. And walk your hands back towards your feet for Uttanasana. The head is heavy. The pelvis is tilting here. Your pelvis needs to be tilting. If your pelvis, stay in the pose if you're in the pose, but if your pelvis is not tilting forward, then come to the wall and take half dog pose, which also feels amazing. Press the hands and move the shoulder blades towards the hands and the pelvis towards the center of the room. Drop the head. And inhale, come up. Everyone come to the wall now. And step your right foot forward. Leave your left heel back. We're going to do a calf stretch. You can come onto the elbows, feels really good. And play with turning the left heel out slightly and bending, straightening that back knee. Finding any kind of micro movements here with the breath. And switch. Bring your right foot back now, heel turn slightly out. Bend the left knee, come onto your elbows, shift your weight towards the wall, and moving very slowly with your own breath. Find a kind of micro vinyasa here. And release. Let's all take half dog for a symmetrical close to that little sequence. Press the palms into the wall, press the hips back, and drop the head. I like to play with a micro vinyasa of lifting the tailbone on the inhalation and exhaling, softening the tailbone any amount. One more breath. And roll yourself up. Press the palms, roll and walk up to standing. Take Tadasana. Couple breaths here. Come lying on your back. And we're going to do an active bridge pose before we transition to some forward bends and then our restorative pose to close. So bend your knees and inhale the breath, lift the pelvis up, and now lift your heels. Lower the heels, lower the pelvis, and release. Notice there's like a release of the pelvic floor after you come down if you pay attention to it and allow it to happen. And now there's a contracting, lifting up. Lift the heels and exhale and lower down and release. So I'm getting more and more interested. I've cued it a few times today in these releases after contraction. Lift up. When we were lying on our bellies, we felt it after lifting the legs, for example. And here again, we come down and then make space to feel that relaxation. You can't be relaxed and rushed at the same time. If you're mentally and physically already moving to the next thing, literally in an asana practice or metaphorically in your life, then there's no time for sensation. And sensation is a very powerful tool for bringing us into the present moment. And release. Let's do one more like this. And slower and pelvis low. Okay, so about 5 to 8 again now, but this time when we lift up, instead of lifting the heels, we're going to lift the toes. It's really good for the knees. This is part of a therapeutic knee sequence from Mary Richards from our somatic self-care class. Just making sure that you infuse this. You're not at the gym. You're not in an exercise class. This is a breathing class. So make sure you have enough time at the end of the movement to feel the release. I feel it on my core and my back body and my pelvic floor. One more. Bridge, lift up, lift the toes, release, and come all the way down. Let your knees fall to one side and then the other. One more time each side. Roll to the side now and press yourself up. Let's take Bharadvajasana, which is a gentle twist. The knees are open, and I come onto my fingertips, twisting towards the right. Begin by twisting the pelvis first, and then, so it really starts in the hips, and then there's not that much rotation in the lumbar spine in the lower back, but the thoracic can twist a lot, and your head comes at the very end. And release, take the second side. Inhale the breath. Exhaling, begin by twisting the pelvis over the back thigh, and then up into the rib cage. Release. Okay, I want to do 2 seated forward bends before we move to our restorative pose. Seated forward bends are some of the most advanced poses in yoga. If you know that you have really tight hamstrings and you don't have a lot of mobility, a movement of your pelvis tilting over your femurs, you might want to skip these 2 poses and meet us in the restorative at the end. I like to elevate my pelvis slightly, which you can either do with a blanket, just folding it over and then sitting slightly on the blanket as you take the pose, or I have this ball, which I love. I'm also going to have these blocks nearby. So I like to sit on the ball, kind of sit and fall off of the ball to tilt my pelvis forward. By the way, I'll include a link below for my favorite resources, yoga props, etc. This ball is in there. Okay, straighten the left leg now and bend the right knee. We're going to take Janu Sirsasana. It's an asymmetrical seated forward bend. So this ball, what it's doing, or it could be a blanket, is helping me to tilt forward, tilt my pelvis forward from the very start. The left leg is the anchor of the pose. And instead of thinking of bringing your breastbone over the left leg, think of bringing your breastbone down in the center. Inhale the breath. Exhale, tilt, 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 and then round. I'm going to use my blocks to catch my head. 5 to 10 breaths here. Inhale the breath and lift up. Switch the legs. Right leg is straight now, the left knee bends. Inhale. Exhale, breastbone folds down towards the center, to the left, to the inside of your straight right leg. Inhale, lift up. Bring the soles of your feet together now for a symmetrical forward bend to close. Make sure the pelvis is tilting forward. Inhale the breath. Drop the chin and bow forward. Inhale and lift up. It's time for Shavasana. I'm going to show a supported restorative pose. It's not technically 100% a Shavasana, but it's an inversion, and I think it would be really delicious to practice right now. So the pose I'm going to show requires a chair, a bolster, a couple blankets, and an eye cover. If that's not appropriate for you today because you are on your period or you're pregnant or you have pressure in the eyes, um, or pressure in the sinuses, or it just doesn't feel right or sound right, or if the back bend is not appreciated by your body today, then take a very simple horizontal Shavasana. Put a roll behind your ankles, a bigger roll behind your knees, a pillow behind your head, open the arms, cover the eyes. Either way, I'm going to show the setup now, and then we're going to share some silence before we come back together and say goodbye. Okay, chair covered with a blanket, and then you're going to wrap your lower legs. I have this amazing new heated blanket, which I'm going to use, but any blanket will do. I'm wrapping the legs to keep them from falling apart. Then, also extra luxury, I'm going to put some weight on top. I have a yoga sandbag, goes across the top shins. Then I'm going to come down towards the floor. Again, third eye mask at the ready. And adjust your pelvis so that the bolster is supporting you from the first rib or the last rib, the floating rib, all the way down. So where your tailbone is kind of a tiny bit looking down is a tiny bit of a back bend in this pose. The belly is really soft. The legs are relaxed. This should feel delicious. If it doesn't feel delicious, you need to make a change. We refer to this pose as Instant Maui, which is an island in Hawaii. I'm going to invite you to go now to that state of relaxation without delay by noticing all of the tension that you're unnecessarily holding in your body. With the next couple of exhalations, invite yourself to let go of any gripping, any holding, any resistance. I'm going to set a timer for us, and we'll be here together in silence. Nothing is happening except for self care. This is practical self care, nervous system management self care. Allow yourself to sink back down and in to this delicious silence of Shavasana. Inhale your breath. Exhaling, unwind your legs and roll to the side. Press yourself up to sitting. Inhaling the breath, open the palms away from the body. With an exhalation, bring them together in front of your heart. Namaste. May we live like the lotus at home in the muddy water. Thank you so much for your practice. I would love for you to subscribe to our new moon mail. The link is below, and then I'll send you a class like this every single month. Remember, self-care is not selfish. It is an essential part of regulating your nervous system so that you can co-regulate with the people that you have in your life. Have a great day. I believe in you. You got this.